I'm Paula, 35. As I stand on the balcony of my San Francisco apartment, looking out at the city lights reflecting on the dark waters of the bay, I'm filled with a sense of peace and gratitude. It's Christmas, and friends are gathered around the table inside, their laughter mingling with the scent of rosemary and sage from the roasting turkey. It's a far cry from the Christmases of my past. A year ago, I was in my parents' living room in Seattle, sitting cross-legged on the hardwood floor surrounded by the remnants of Christmas morning. My younger sister, Lily, who was 28 at the time, was twirling a set of shiny Mercedes keys around her manicured fingers. The keys caught the twinkling lights from the Christmas tree as she danced around like a giddy teenager. Dad beamed at her with unbridled pride, while Mom clasped her hands under her chin, looking like she was witnessing a miracle. The car, a sleek black Mercedes, sat in the driveway with an enormous red bow on it. Meanwhile, I was looking at a plastic piggy bank in my lap, shaped like a character from a kid's show I'd outgrown long ago. The price tag that they'd forgotten to remove read $2.99. Mom urged me to open it, gesturing towards the small rubber stopper at the bottom. When I did, two crisp $1 bills fluttered out. Dad dismissed it with a wave, saying it was the start of my future home fund and that I was always so responsible with money, unlike some people. He winked at Lily, who pretended to be offended. That moment was the culmination of a lifetime of my parents' favoritism. Just that morning, I'd given them carefully wrapped gifts. A luxury leather wallet for Dad that cost a week's salary, a pearl necklace for Mom that she'd admired in a boutique, and a high-end camera lens for Lily that she'd casually mentioned wanting. I'd spent months setting aside money from each paycheck to buy these gifts. I'd also been looking forward to sharing the news of my promotion to senior structural engineer. I'd worked countless nights and weekends to earn it, designing buildings that would stand the test of time. I'd imagined their faces lighting up with pride, finally seeing me as more than just the responsible older sister. But as I sat there with that piggy bank in my lap, I knew that this Christmas would be no different. I excused myself and went to the bathroom. I locked the door behind me and stared at my reflection in the mirror. I pressed my palms against the cold marble counter, waiting for tears that wouldn't come. Instead, the pressure in my chest built up, like concrete hardening around my lungs. That night, I lay awake in my childhood bedroom, listening to Lily's laughter downstairs as she and my parents planned her first road trip in the new car. At 2:30 a.m., I decided to leave. I packed quickly, taking only the things that truly mattered: a tattered stuffed rabbit my grandfather had given me, a photo album from my college days, and a small wooden box with my first professional blueprint. As I drove away, my phone buzzed. It was Mom, asking if I'd remembered to pay the electricity bill for the beach house they'd bought, which Lily often used for her photography shoots. Memories of my life filled my mind. My 5th birthday party was a simple affair with a grocery store cake and a couple of friends, while Lily's princess-themed party the same year had professional decorations, pony rides, and a 3-tiered cake. When I asked why, Dad said Lily needed the social stimulation, and I was more independent. In high school, I was valedictorian, but my family didn't attend my graduation because Lily had a softball game. Mom promised to watch the recording, but the VHS tape sat unopened on my dresser until I left for college. In college, I worked 30 hours a week at the campus bookstore and cafeteria, took a full course load to graduate early, and stretched my student loans and scholarships. Meanwhile, Lily explored art across Asia on my parents' dime. Dad said she needed to find herself, and I always knew who I was. As I crossed the California border, I received a call from my college roommate, Mia. She could tell from my voice that something was wrong and invited me to stay with her in San Francisco. She'd seen firsthand how my parents treated me during college. The packages I received were full of practical things, while Lily got designer clothes and luxury items. I hesitated at first, not wanting to impose, but Mia was insistent. She said I'd spent my whole life being the helper, and it was time for someone to help me. I finally agreed. Once in San Francisco, I decided to request a transfer to the local office. I sent the email without any family connections or favors. To my surprise, I got the approval in just a few hours. It was as if I'd always been capable of creating my own path. Mia helped me find an apartment in the Mission District, close to my new office. She also made an appointment for me with a family therapist, Dr.
Thompson.
At our first session, I finally found the words to express the favoritism I'd endured my entire life. When Dr. Thompson asked how it made me feel, I said it was like I was worth exactly $2. As the months passed, I started to build a new life. I took up pottery classes at a community center, which helped me relax and express myself. My apartment slowly filled with the pottery pieces I'd created. For weeks after Christmas, I received a video call from my parents. Dad demanded to know where I'd been, and Mom pretended to be worried sick. I calmly told them I'd transferred to the San Francisco office. They were angry that I hadn't discussed it with them first. But this time, I stood my ground. I told them I needed space from being valued less than Lily and from trying to earn love that should have been freely given. Dad slammed his hand on the table and ended the call. Rumors started to spread through my former co-workers. According to my family, I'd had a mental breakdown and was living in squalor. But my new co-workers only saw my work and my skills. 6 months after Christmas, I was promoted to senior project manager. The raise ended any financial anxiety I'd had. I filled the piggy bank with crisp $2 bills, one for each week of my newfound freedom. A month before my cousin Sophia's wedding, I received an invitation. Dad insisted I stay at their rental house, but I booked a room at a nearby hotel. During a therapy session, I talked about my fears and how my family was trying to manipulate me. I also realized that I was ready to face them. At the wedding rehearsal dinner, when I walked in, everyone was shocked. I'd changed. I was wearing a tailored black suit and a red silk blouse, and I carried myself with confidence. Lily approached me first. Her designer watch was gone, and her hair had lost its highlights. She said I looked amazing. When I asked about the Mercedes, she said she'd had to trade it in for a more practical car. I also learned that my parents were selling the house due to financial problems. Dad had lost his job, and Mom was on anxiety medication. Throughout the evening, relatives told me they'd noticed how differently I'd been treated. My father cornered me during cocktail hour, saying that family should stick together. I looked him in the eye and asked if some family members should stick together while others were pushed aside. I reminded him of the $2 in the piggy bank, which was their definition of support. He walked away without a word. The next day, in the library before the wedding, my parents and Lily staged an intervention. They told me about Dad's job loss, Mom's depression, and that they were selling the house, all blaming it on me leaving at Christmas. But I was prepared. I took out a leather-bound photo album and a folder of bank statements. I showed them the evidence of their favoritism over the years, from birthday parties to college funding. Dad tried to deny it, but the truth was clear. Mom started to cry, saying they never meant to hurt me. I told them that intent didn't erase impact. I took out the piggy bank and emptied the $2 bills on the table. I said it wasn't about the money, but about what they'd thought I was worth. I told them I didn't want apologies. I wanted change. I'd consider reconciliation if they agreed to family therapy and respected my boundaries. Mom surprised us all by saying they'd do whatever it took. Now, as I stand here on this Christmas night, surrounded by friends who truly care about me, I know that I've finally found my worth. The piggy bank, sitting on the mantel, is no longer a symbol of what I lacked, but a reminder of the courage it took to value myself first.